if you look at sort of who people select to have sex with versus who people select to try and form long-term relationships with them, I mean, there are many men who would not choose to be with the woman that is most attractive to everybody because they don't have the confidence they could keep her.
That's
right?
a good point.
Even if she's not a flirt and wouldn't be looking, right? Even if she didn't have a wandering eye.
Hey, oh God. Right off the bat, bro. Oh God, like if you really think about it, like, all right, if you a dude, we all dudes in this bitch anyway. But if you a dude, you got a girl that you would fuck, right? You got a girl that you would smash, of course. But then you got a girl that you would wife up. I mean, that shit happens all the time. Like, you might see a fine ass bitch down the street, like, damn, I fucked the dog shit out of her, boy, raw doggy style. But you wouldn't cuff her. You feel me? You might lean back and find a girl that's a 7 or maybe even a 6.9. And she look good. Like, you could take her to the family reunion. You know what I'm saying? And everybody be like, okay, I see you. And she be straight. Because when you get that baddie, you gotta be right. Your bread gotta be right. All your shit gotta be right. Because it's competition. Yeah. Now you gotta make sure you on point for a motherfucker come get her. No cap. He valid.
Men deliberately wouldn't want to be with the most beautiful. People tend to match up pretty closely in terms of attractiveness. Pretty closely, not always. But you asked about income, and I want to make sure that, because I had David Buss on my podcast, and he's really the expert on this, so we're going to have to fact check this with him. Yeah. But yes, it's true that resource potential is an important variable, because people have to think about safety and childcare and a number of things. But of course, but women work too, right? Women can work too, right? They can opt to work and make money. But more important than any other feature across all cultures is that the woman reports that she sought someone who is kind to them. Not necessarily kind to everybody, but kind to them. Okay.
Hey, facts. If you can't make a woman feel safe, you can't make a woman feel like very secure with herself. And I'm not talking about like bread wise. I'm talking about just you talking to her, you being her that emotional support, you being that foundation to her. Like, you making her feel some type of way, like, damn, this the nicest nigga I've ever met, or this is the most genuine person I've ever met. Because when you're a solid individual, people can realize that. And that's something that you cannot buy. Just because you have money doesn't mean you have good morals. Just because you have a nice car doesn't mean you're a good person, or you're a genuine person that can show love and affection and be real with someone. That means a lot. You can have the baddest bitch in the world. She can have a fat ass, fat titties, big lips, the baddest bitch on the block. But if she disrespects you and she's rude to you and she doesn't give a fuck about what you have to say and your opinions and your outlooks on life, or even support you mentally, or doesn't even support your religion, nigga, you gonna kick her ass to the curb. Be real. No cap.
Okay, so even if you think of like extreme money, right? Extreme money, or you think of extreme bodies or extreme resources, right? That somebody has. Women, in terms of who they tend to pair up with long term, assuming heterosexual, right? They're heterosexual, because here we're making a bunch of assumptions. But in that mold, what is shown up over and over again in the data is that their top priority is that someone be kind to them. In other words, they're not interested in being with someone who's really wealthy who treats them like garbage. I think this gets lost because people think, oh, it's all about money. It's not all about money. It's about safety and kindness, because you're talking about a long-term bond. Right. Now, then people say, well, what about this notion of gold diggers? And by the way, there are male and female gold diggers. I mean, I had friends in college who would say things like they wanted to marry a really wealthy woman. I was like, really? That's I just heard this from a few people. I was like, wow, you're thinking about that as your primary concern? They're like, no, but it would be great. I would hear people say that. There are also the female to male version of that. It's actually pretty rare. It's about safety and resources. And this also varies by culture, whether or not women tend to work or not work. But overall, again, I don't mean to, be a dead horse with this, but it's really that kindness towards them is critical, but not necessarily kindness to everybody.
Is that tied to reproductive success also?
Now, let me get real with y'all. So, what he means by kindness, what he means by safety, you don't have to be a fucking millionaire. You don't have to have a $700 million fucking net worth. Net worth. Not network, net worth. You ain't got to be making crazy amounts of bread. But money is a factor. But with the support, the safety, that means you're doing well enough to where, let's say, if the bitch get a flat tire, or she gets sick, or a bill pops up that she may or may not can pay, or just within the household, that you can be that safety net to step up to the plate. And that's what he means by support. You don't have to be making so much bread to where you're like the top 1% in the fucking nation, but you have to have enough money in order to provide, because that's really our role. That's our identity. Who doesn't like feeling good when you can take your girl out to eat, or buy her a new set of nails, or help invest into her future? Who doesn't like doing things? Who doesn't like helping people out? Therefore, being kind, being genuine to her is going to make her open up and feel some type of way about you. And when you're kind to only her, it's a turn on to her. You know what I'm saying? For example, let's say you've been fucking with shorty and she with a group of her females or lady friends, and you walk up and the first thing you do is talk to her. The first thing you do, you make your way through the crowd and you talking to her, and then you address everybody else. How you think that's going to make her feel? How you think that's going to make her feel when they be like, hey, what's up, Craig? What's up? But then you move all her little homegirls out the way and you address her. Think about that. She going to be like, damn, this nigga all about me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, she going to, nigga, when she get home to the crib, she going to call her homegirl like, bitch, all these hoes around. He didn't look at these hoes. He just brushed their ass to the side and started talking to me, bitch. I'm ready to get him. You know what I'm saying? That's how that shit work. So being available, but not available to everyone else, that's a big ass plus, bro. They gonna notice, no cap.
And that, like, if he's kind to me, he'll be kind to my kids, and they have a better chance of surviving.
Yeah, we're doing a bit of a Just So story there. Like, I don't know exactly what the experiment would look like, and I'm sure the experiment's been done, but I have to assume yes. Because the last thing you want is someone with a ton of reproductive potential, resource potential, who's gonna treat you like garbage. Chances are they're not gonna stay with you, or you're gonna be there, but then they're gonna bring in other mates.
Yeah,
you know. And so when you look at the roots of jealousy and concerns about infidelity, or you look at the roots of sort of like concerns about resource potential and all that, it all kind of makes sense in this very old-fashioned model. It also makes sense in the model that we live in now. Kindness toward each other is fundamentally the most important variable, which is kind of reassuring. I don't say that to be politically correct. That's how the data fall out. And that never gets discussed because it's not as edgy as thinking like, oh yeah, it's all about money, it's all about beauty, it's all about this, it's about the Lamborghini. It's
yes. Like, whenever the last time you heard someone say it's all about kindness? Be real. At the end of the day, it's not about the bread. It's not about all the other bullshit. And you can even expand this topic out to a more broad outlook. For example, with your associates, are you kind to them? Do you support them? Are they respectful? Do they care about you as a person? Do they care about your well-being? Do they care about your mental health? Do they care about you living on this earth? It's not a lot of people that actually care about you in this lifetime. Let's be real. How many people really care about your well-being? That goes a long way. That can open up so many doors just from you being that type of person. I remember when I had a job interview, and this shit was crazy. I had a job interview at a hospital. I'm walking in. I'm dressed in a fucking suit and tie, and I'm dressed in a suit and tie. And I feel like I was overdressing, but I'm like, fuck it. If I'm going to present myself, I'm going to present myself in the best fucking way. You feel me? So it was this older lady. She was like, hey, young man, can you help me put these boxes up? And I'm like, sure. I'm in a suit and tie. I'm like, sure. Turns out when I do the job interview, that old lady, which her name is Miss Pam. Thank you, Miss Pam. Miss Pam was one of the people that put the word in for me to get hired. That's crazy, bro. You cannot tell me that's crazy. Like it's such a small world. Me being kind, me showing respect, me taking time out my day just to put those boxes up, just talking to her for that simple, quick moment got me the job. That's crazy when you really think about it. So imagine you are giving that same type of love and affection to a woman, and it's just going to hit different. You know what I'm saying? It's actually going to hit different. Even if she felt like playing games with you, when you're such a genuine person, they're going to feel like dog shit because they treated a man that really stood on some shit and they're gonna feel like ass. They're gonna open up to you like, I don't deserve you. You're too nice. You're too good of a soul. Real shit. I didn't seen it happen. I didn't had it happen to me before. You're gonna feel like shit. Imagine treating somebody like shit, and they're trying to give you the world. They're trying to support you in every aspect of your life. How you gonna feel about yourself when you go to sleep? Damn, I'm fucking up, man. I didn't fuck her, and then my girl at home, she didn't cook, clean, wash my clothes, and make my lunch for fucking work. How you gonna feel, my nigga? You gonna be fucked up, and it's same on both sides.
Like, no, like how is he gonna treat you? And so there's also something very special to people about the other person who is very desired by a lot of people, treating them particularly nicely.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you hear this notion of being picked, right?
Yeah.
And there's mutual picking, and everything is changing now too, right? I mean, the way that, you know, there are apps like Bumble where women actually have to say, that, yes, I will talk to you, right?
Yeah.
It's not a bidirectional conversation. There's an asymmetric conversation.
Yeah.
So again, not on the apps, but I'm fascinated by this because it's human dating behavior, but it's always going to be through the filter of biology.
Well, maybe you can answer this because you're a neuroscientist. So can the brain outpace evolution? Where we have millions of years of evolution that men say, I'm attracted to these proportions that will nourish my kids the best. And women say, I'm attracted to these features that say he'll take care of my kids. Now society's changing. In the last 70 years, all this is like getting changed up. Can your brain outpace your evolution, which has been hardwired for millions of years, and say, you know what? I don't care about all these things.
So we have this real estate in our brain right behind our forehead called the prefrontal cortex, and it's your rule setting machine. So you can create new rules for what's going to drive your behavior. Like we can decide that what's important in a given set of situations is blank. You actually see this, right? If people go away on retreats or they go to some event and there's only, you know, let's say, again, we're assuming heterosexual relationships here, 10 men and 10 women, they're all heterosexual. Who you find most attractive will be gauged against the other 9. And
Hey, that shit kind of crazy. Because the dating scene has changed. It's not like the old days where you got to go outside and learn how to actually speak and talk to people and be able to hold an actual conversation. It's almost like it's been dummied down to where men are damn near y'all setting yourself up for failure because you own these apps. And now you got your profile, she got her profile, but in order for you to talk to her, she has to like your fucking profile in order for you to talk to her. So now, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to be picked. And just imagine how many people you're going against, my nigga. It's like, nigga, let's say it's 300 niggas in her shit. And you're one of the 300. So how good do you look compared to the other 300 niggas, bro? That's tough, nigga. That's going to be tough to beat, bro. Excuse me, I had to get some water. That's gonna be tough, bro. You said the odds is not in your favor unless you just that nigga. And if you're that dude, you're not gonna really be on these apps. Or if you are on the apps, they're liking your shit. You feel me? So shit gets kind of crazy. But in a sense, I feel like dating in now's age, I feel like people have lost a bit of values and morals, and it's kind of making it a little harder. Therefore, people are struggling dating. For example, it's not hard to find a girl. It's not hard to find a female out here, but it is hard if you are used to being on the internet and you're not used to going out and speaking to people, talking to people, engaging with people, and getting the information that you need in order to go to the next level when it's dating or finding a wife or even just having sexual intercourse with other females. You know what I'm saying? So that shit gets kind of tough. If you ain't used to talking to girls or you ain't used to talking to people, of course you're gonna be struggling. And now since you're struggling, you only have 2 options. You're gonna either stop trying or you're gonna go to the internet, which you're gonna fail. Because if you can't talk to a girl in real life, do you think your chances are better online when you're competing against all these other options, all these other dudes that have they shit together or just look better than you? Because looks do mean something. You could be making $250,000 a year, $300,000 a year and look like shit, and she can go fuck a nigga from McDonald's because he looks good. Let's be real. I'm just saying.
And so, but in a world in New York City, the distribution is much broader and the mean is shifted perhaps. And so you can't beat evolution. You're always going to be constrained by brain wiring, but you can condition certain things. And also sometimes people are selecting for somebody who's really nice, really funny. We get along so well. I mean, there are other criteria, right?
I'm just trying to get you to say it's okay for us to be shallow, really, at the end of the day.
I mean, it's as okay to be shallow as being shallow is important to you, right? There are people who are like, they have their list. Right? They're like, I want to be with someone who graduated college, or I don't care, or I want to be with somebody who, you know, is physically attracted to, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, the reality is that no matter how attracted two people are to one another, like at some point it becomes familiar. But there are certain people, like I'll just disclosure, I'm actually become in a relationship, monogamous relationship, actually become more attracted to the person I'm with. And I think it's something through the nose. It's like a pheromone thing. I become very conditioned to them, right? It's not that no one else becomes attracted to me, but I become very conditioned to them. And so I don't know that everyone's like that. I've only been me, but I know that there's some people that get really restless after they've been with the same person for a little while. And sometimes that's psychological, like they never got it out of their system. They married the first person they were with. And other times it could be physiological. So there's a lot of range on these. I mean, when the biology constrains it, to answer your question, it constrains it, sets some out.
And that's crazy because he really just said some crazy shit. I feel like, let's say you in your 20s. No, let's say you married your high school sweetheart. Y'all 18, y'all got married. I didn't get married. So I went through and had my fun from 18 to, let's just say, fucking 24. I'm 25 though. I'm still lit, you feel me? But let's say 18 to 24. I done had different type of bitches. I done deal with different type of females. I done deal with different type of situations. All these things I've learned a lot from, compared to the dude who married his high school sweetheart, which I'm not talking shit about it. I'm just saying, throwing this out there. This is a theory. You know what I'm saying? Compared to him, either side, now you've been with that person, let's say from 18 to 24, y'all have to grow together. But in a sense, it's always something in the back of their head like, damn, I wish I can do this. Or I wonder what it's like to date this type of guy. Or I wonder what it's like to date this type of girl. Or you might have the most beautiful wife ever, good loving wife, good caring wife, but you ain't never been in a relationship with a real freak. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know what I'm saying? Why you think dudes who be having these beautiful wives and they wives do everything in the world for them, and then they get caught fucking a roach? Because they wife is not licking they balls, my nigga. They not slurping them balls. She got your balls in her hand, my nigga. Like this. Meat stick in mouth. Rubbing them balls, fam. Your wife not doing that. Your wife not doing that. Your partner just told you she just did that to him, fam. And now you bring it to your wife. And your wife like, I ain't doing that shit. I'm a Barbie. Yeah, that's how that shit happen. It's the same thing with females, bro. You not eating your girl ass? If you ain't eating your girl ass, another motherfucker will. That's how I put it. I'm just saying. If you ain't gonna eat your girl ass, another dude will. She gonna find it somewhere else. So my point is, don't move too fast. Don't move too slow. Move at your own pace. Stop forcing things and figure out what qualities, what things are your positive. Are you a funny person? Okay, if you're funny, then be funny. You know what I'm saying? If you can make a girl laugh, you in the dough. If you're a sweet, charming person, be a sweet, charming person. Stop trying to be somebody that you're not, because those things are not in you. So focus on your positives and stop focusing on your negatives. If you're not a mean guy, why are you trying to be mean? Now you're forcing it. Now you're trying to act like somebody you're not. If you're not a player, stop trying to be a player. You feel me? Now, I'm not saying that you can't become one. I'm just saying stop forcing the issue. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I'm not sure how y'all feel about this video. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you check out my next video. It's your boy, The Real RX. I'm out. Stay tuned.